Get ready for some epic fights. That's what happens when players lose control. This is angry teammates' moments. Cristiano Ronaldo almost went after a teammate during halftime of a Champions League game for Juventus. Cristiano got really angry with his teammates. Check out what the superstar said. And that's when a fight almost broke out. Cuadrado went after the superstar, telling him he needed to set an example, and the two started arguing until the coach came to break it up. Another fight that happened with Ronaldo was this one. He was about to score a historic goal when Nani got in the way and headed the ball. Check out how Ronaldo reacted after that. The worst part is that, because of that, the goal was invalidated for offside. But that's nothing compared to what happened in the Tottenham locker room. After the team conceded a goal, at the end of the game, Son and Loras started arguing on the field.
And the fight continued when they entered the locker room. And they only didn't fight there because they held back the French goalkeeper. What happened in France with Neymar is bizarre. When he arrived at PSG, he got into a huge fight with Cavani because both wanted to be the team's bosses. And one day, the worst happened. Neymar wanted to take a penalty, but Cavani didn't want to let him. And that's when Daniel Alves stepped in, grabbed the ball, and kept pushing Cavani away. They almost started a nasty fight. One of the most controversial players of all time is Balotelli, but one day he crossed the line and left his teammates very annoyed. He started a nasty argument with his coach and simply walked off the field. In the Bundesliga, Chicharito Hernandez almost got into a fight with Bellarabi after the forward chose to shoot instead of passing the ball. Felipe Melo has always been a hot-headed player, but this time he went after a teammate and almost got into trouble. This player had the guts to grab his neck and had to go to the technical area to avoid a beating. Another beef that went down at Galatasaray was this one, where the guys literally fought over the ball. Another hot-headed one has always been the defender Pepe. Check out his attitude going after a teammate. But the ugliest was what happened with these two guys here who literally started pushing each other in the middle of the game. Check out the push Philipp Lahm gave to Ballack, who was actually the captain of Germany at the time. Drogba is a Chelsea idol, but that didn't stop a teammate from bothering the superstar. And things almost turned into a nasty fight. They really got Robben riled up. During a Bayern training session, he received a nasty tackle and started glaring at his teammate. Things got so ugly that he kicked his colleague, and this wasn't the only time he lost his cool. Check out this fight in another training session where the Dutchman got irritated. Cristiano Ronaldo had a nasty argument with Bale and Sergio Ramos during a free kick. But that wasn't the only time the Real Madrid stars fought. In a game for their national teams, Sergio Ramos started annoying the Portuguese. I just wish I knew what went down in the Real Madrid locker room after that. But no one messed up as bad as this Celtic goalkeeper. The guy put his hand in his defender's face. Speaking of fights in practice, check out this beef. The players had to break up these two before it turned into something worse. Now, in this case, one player wanted to fight while the other didn't. One of them was just apologizing, but the other didn't care and went after him. There was finger-pointing and everything. In the end, there was no other way, and the guy who lost his cool asked to leave the field. This other argument here ended badly. The guy headbutted his teammate out of nowhere. That's what happens when a goalkeeper loses his temper with his defender. They almost came to blows. And in the end, the referee sent both off.
Now these guys here had a bizarre falling out. In a play that didn't even end dangerously,
They started fighting and had to be separated. This defender lost his cool after the fullback let the ball pass, and the two almost came to blows. Another big star who lost his temper was Suarez. The guy got so mad at his coach that he punched the reserve bench glass, but I think it ended worse for him than for the coach. Now check out this fight that almost happened. Cristiano Ronaldo reached out to shake hands with Bruno Fernandes, and if the guy didn't reciprocate, there would have been a fight in the Portugal locker room. Speaking of Bruno Fernandes, look at his argument with the United defender. It got ugly. This player managed to draw a penalty and almost got into a fight with a teammate over who would take it. And the worst part is that he missed the penalty, so the argument in the locker room must have been ugly. Now, this fight was between big names. De Bruyne lost his temper and started arguing with his teammate in front of everyone. He and Bernardo Silva were bickering, and word has it that Guardiola had to sort out that problem in the locker room. And the worst part is that Manchester City was winning the game 2-0. Check out this fight that happened in the Brazilian league. A player from Flamengo started arguing with a forward who crossed the line. The goalkeeper had to hold one of them back to prevent a fight, but that's not all. The coach decided to leave the guys on the field, and what happened next is bizarre. The striker ended up scoring a goal, which gave the victory to his team. And the celebration was this. Yeah, the guy went around flipping off the defender in front of the whole stadium. Another beef that happened in the same team but a long time ago was between these two. In the middle of the game, while the ball was rolling, they started fighting and the match had to be stopped.
E como garotos de escola, trocaram o famoso "me espera lá fora", que no caso era lá dentro do vestiário.
And apparently, this is the fighting team, because not long ago something even more bizarre happened. One of the assistant coaches simply punched one of the main players of the team. Another ugly beef in the Brazilian league happened in this game here. A slap almost hit one of the players and they had to be separated.
Souza e Obina. Ih, rapaz, que loucura!
Now these guys really went at it. The fight was intense. There was punching and everything. The match looked more like a boxing ring than a soccer field. Speaking of throwing punches, check out these two players fighting in practice. Now check out how this player provoked his teammate. The guy kept pushing him and saying horrible things, and to get back at him, the player simply didn't let the guy touch the ball. But the most famous fight in soccer was between Ibrahimovic and a relatively unknown defender. Ibra is a black belt in taekwondo and doesn't back down from anyone. But according to some teammates, a defender named Onyewu left Ibra on the ground and even broke one of the striker's ribs. The star never admitted to it and even said that the defender was crying after the fight, apologizing. Speaking of Ibrahimovic, click on the video that's appearing on your screen and see the players who had the courage to face him.